Okay, so we're continuing on with lesson 18. Hopefully you've gotten puzzles 1 through 11 kind of figured out. This 12 through the rest of the lesson is using the code that you use from lesson 17. So if you haven't completed your flyer game, nothing is going to come up here, and you're not going to be able to get much of anything done. So if you haven't finished lesson 17, you need to stop right now, go back and finish lesson 17. I go through a lot of details on how to get the flyer game to work, how to get the scorekeeper to work, and how to get it to go. And so we're adding some complexity to the flyer game, and we're putting an obstacle that the flyer has to kind of go around. So as of right now, this just operates the way that I had set it up at the end of lesson 17. I go around and I collect the coin. When I get the coin, it then is going to automatically go to a different part of the screen. One thing I would definitely consider working on with this flyer game is setting up boundaries for the flyer to move, because if it goes too far, then it kind of gets lost and you're without anything to do, which I think it might discuss that in some of the later activities and puzzles. But for now, we're going to set up an obstacle. And as you can see on the screen here, they are modeling this kind of big, huge sun in the middle as an obstacle. So depending on how you changed your game, because your game may not look like this flyer game at all. You might have changed the icon for the flyer. You might have changed the icon for the coin. You might have done a whole lot of things at the end of the last lesson. So you're going to put an obstacle in here somewhere. So you first need to find what it is you want the obstacle to be. So you add an animation, and you can pick from any of these things. So here under all, it looks like they've got the oh, this is everything you can choose from. So let's go back. We'll do a we'll do some food as our obstacle. Let's make we could do a mushroom. We use the mushroom for the other game though. Let's do a burger. Be our obstacle here. Okay, so burger 1. And so then, as it says, you're going to set this up. So sprite animation, give your sprite the image you choose, and you need to figure out where you want to put it. So we got to do a new sprite at the beginning of the program, and this is going to be obstacle. And if you want it to be in the middle, then you just keep it at 200, 200. And then you're going to set the animation of your obstacle to be in my case, I made it a burger. So just choose this to be a burger 1. And then you're just going to run the code and make sure it appears where you want it to. Now, the only problem with my burger 1 is it's humongous. It's taking up most of the screen. So I need to make it a little smaller. I can either do that by going into the animation tab and actually changing the size of the picture, or I can use the scale function. And so I just say obstacle.scale. I'm going to make it equal to like 0.5, which would be half scale. So that should scale it down pretty significantly. And that's pretty much what I want, is how much space I want it to take up. If I wanted to change that even more, then I could definitely. So we're going to finish this one and move on to the next puzzle within this same video. You don't want your player to be able to move through the obstacle, so you'll need to use one of these sprite interactions that we've been learning about with this collisions lesson. Add code to your game that prevents your player from moving through the obstacle. If you use one of the bounce interactions, decide whether you want to reset the bounciness of your character. Discuss with a neighbor which sprite interaction did you decide to use. Is there more than one sprite interaction that works the way you'd expect? You can either get it so that the collide, which basically kind of stops it if it hits it, or the bounce off, which if you hit it, then it's going to bounce off of that particular obstacle. So if I do the collide, then I would put that inside the draw loop here, because I always want it to be colliding with the two things. So we're going to say character.collide, and then we're going to make our target is the obstacle. And then we're going to see how that works out. So now you can see my character, once it hits that obstacle, it doesn't do anything. So once I get past the collision kind of box for that obstacle, as you can see, I can't go up any once I've hit that. So that's one option you can do. You can use the other one if you'd like to be able to do the... Notice, however, it only takes care of the Y velocity, not the X velocity. So I still was able to slide all the way across. There we go. I can get my flyer to stop right on top of the obstacle there. So make sure whatever you add that you put it inside of the draw loop, so it's constantly going to be doing that. Because if I put this collide before the draw loop, it's only going to do it at the start of the program, and then it will be able to pass through the rest of the program, and it won't work the way that I would like it to. So there you go. There's puzzles 12 and 13, continuing to work on your flyer game and figuring out how these collision things work in this lesson number 18. So finish that puzzle and continue and stop the recording. Glorious.